Hi, everybody. This is Peter Cipcowski, and today we're going to have a conversation with Rich Herrington. This is part of a series of conversations with community leaders, talking a little bit about their personal histories and their professional experiences, and how COVID-19 has impacted their world. So today, Rich Herrington, so happy to have Rich with us. Rich is the Vice President and General Manager of Herrington. So welcome, Rich.
Welcome. Thank you. I appreciate the invite.
Glad you're here. Rich, you're part of a family that has deep roots in the community, and you're part of a important business that serves a pretty expansive part of our community beyond our own little Roe Jan community, of course.
Sure.
But why don't you tell us a little bit about your personal background, a little bit about your family history and how you fit into it?
Sure. So I am fourth generation owner operator. I'm actually fourth generation Herrington. My great grandfather bought the business from his father-in-law. So the business was a going entity one generation prior to a Herrington owning it. We started off serving right on the railroad. Our location in Hillsdale is the original spot. Our original store is still there. It's right across. It's the little building right across from the new Roe Jan brewery, and that's where it all started. And it's grown from there. We're very fortunate to be in Hillsdale and the other states and towns that we service. The business has grown from servicing the farmers and the agriculture years and years ago to, fast forward to today, to servicing the custom home builder and the tradespeople that work for the custom home builder, and the customer that the custom home builder works for. Those are all of our customers, and we're very fortunate to be in the areas that we service.
Hey, Rich, the original business, that was it your great grandfather purchased from his father-in-law? Was that a Bullock? Is that the correct name?
My great grandfather was Edmund Herrington, and he married a Bullock.
Got it. And the original, I've seen some old historic postcards of the original business when it was Bullock's. Is that correct?
Yeah, Bullock and Son, I believe. Yeah.
Okay, and that was on the same spot where your center business is now.
Yep.
Amazing.
Yep. The railroad went right behind it, and that's where we received all of our product up until they tore the railroad up years ago.
And it was originally a lumber yard. It was very much serving builders.
Feed lumber and then coal. And then the coal transitioned to heating fuel, and sort of a long story, but my sister Heather and brother-in-law John Canetto own Herrington Fuels now, and that used to be part of our business. It
makes so much sense that you would have had a coal distribution business originally as well, with the railroad coming through.
Sure.
For the early part of the 20th century. How cool. And your mom, Marilyn, one of my favorite people on earth.
Mine too.
Good call. She and Julia Brandy, as you know, have been working on an oral history project that's very much focused on the story of Hillsdale. And there's a wonderful photograph that's circulating from that project of the original site where Herrington's now exists. Have you seen that beautiful photograph?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Amazing elm tree and orchard and so on. But hey, go ahead.
Neat photo.
Yeah.
And aside, you guys did a fantastic job with that oral history. It's fantastic.
Isn't it amazing? They've really been tenacious and interviewed more than 25 people, and I think they have hours and hours of footage.
Sure.
But hey, tell us a little bit about what it's like to be part of this wonderful family that you're part of.
Oh, listen, I couldn't be more fortunate. I'm born and raised here. I went off to college and um, built some houses after college and got some real uh, great experience doing that. As good as any college degree I have, but so fortunate to be in this area and to have the support of our family. We've, as you said, have deep roots here on both my mom's side and my dad's side. And yeah, my wife Carrie and I are very fortunate. We have 3 children, 2 girls and a boy, and to raise them in this area, I can't imagine being anyplace else.
Did you always have a sense that you would be eventually taking on a leadership role in your dad, grandfather, great-grandfather's business?
Yeah, so I worked in it as soon as my mom and dad would let me, I guess. I started working here when I was 13 at summers and school break, and worked for some builders when I got a little bit older. But there was always in the back of my mind that I was looking forward to owning and running the business. Like life happens, and as I mentioned, I was fortunate to have some good skill sets and learn the trade of building, which helped me immensely in my current role and my earlier roles when I came back to work for the family business full time. Yeah. I would do it all over again. It was a great time in my life, building houses.
It's a good thing you didn't grow up wanting to be an accountant or something, right?
Yeah, that wasn't going to happen.
Listen, your wife Carrie also has a wonderful business in town, and it's an important building. Can you tell us a little bit about that important building?
Yeah, so the building is, I'm told, a relation. The gentleman that built it, Parla Foster, and owned it, is a relation to us. And it was built in the mid to later 1700s. And we were fortunate enough to buy it a few years ago, and it's really a piece of history. Certainly encourage anybody to stop in my wife's store to take a look at the building too. It's just it's an amazing building. I like that older architecture, and it's really a piece of history. And Carrie has her interior design business in there now, and she pretty much single-handedly fixed up the inside about five years ago or so, and yeah, it's a great spot for a business and a real piece of history for the town.
It sure is, yeah. And Parla Foster is buried, I think, not far from the building, on what we call Pill Hill Road. There's an old cemetery there.
Oh, sure.
That he and I guess his family is buried in.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's a beautiful old cemetery, one of the oldest in the community. And I guess there was a church adjacent to that cemetery originally as well, but that's a different conversation.
Yeah.
Hey, so we're so grateful that building is being protected and being taken care of. So thank you for that. So tell us a little bit about the business you're now running and the struggle that you've been facing. Rich, I ran into you a month or two ago, and we were, business was still going pretty strong. You were awake to the issues that were coming in, but what have you had to do as a result of COVID-19 to protect your business and your employees?
Sure, sure. So when this pandemic first started and first, I would say, impacted our business, the beginning part of the year, um, business is very robust. Lots of building and remodeling going on, and then the pandemic hit, and we our goal was to make sure first and foremost that our employees were safe at work, and our customers were safe. And I think, like probably everybody that's gone through this, it was sort of an hour by hour, day by day approach to making the decisions on what we needed to do to make sure our employees and our customers were safe. And so we're a retail operation, so I don't have the luxury of being able to have all of our employees be able to work from home. But every employee that could work from home, we worked out, thankfully, the technology, and everybody here and in our IT department was very helpful and getting the people that could work from home working from home, and we did that, and we are still currently doing that. And quite honestly, for the foreseeable future, we probably will continue to operate that way. Those that needed to be here and working, our drivers, our store staff, our yard staff, very fortunate to have the fantastic employees that we do, and we wanted to make sure that they were safe. So we sort of made a phased approach. We backed off our hours first, and then it got a little bit more real, I would say, Peter.
Yeah.
We decided to. We didn't need to. We were first and foremost very fortunate that we were deemed an essential business, and we were able to stay open and be here for our customers and the communities that we serve. But we felt like it was the right decision to close the doors to foot traffic, continue to deliver product to our customer like we do, and offer curbside pickup when we close the doors. And I think that was a great decision. It really put our employees' minds at ease, but it also put a lot of pressure on them that they had to get every single transaction ready for the customer, right? And that was different for us, and that was a challenge. Just this past Monday, we decided to open the doors back up to customer traffic, and with proper precautions in place. We've put plexiglass up at all of our point of sales stations and other areas that there's customer interaction. We're requiring our employees and all of our customers to wear masks when they come in our stores or are near our employees, and everybody's been really fantastic and understanding of that. So it feels good that next sort of transition to getting back to some type of normalcy, whatever that is I'm proud of our employees. I'm proud of our customers that they're all working together to be safe, but to kind of get back to working. So that's kind of where we're at right now.
Yeah, no, thanks. That's a really great explanation of the continuum of the hour to hour, as you said, week to week changes that we've been encountering with this pandemic. And there's still, we don't know what the road ahead is like exactly. Have you noticed differences in your various communities that you serve? I believe you have a business in Hudson, Lakeville, Millerton, Chatham as well.
Hillsdale, Sheffield. So we're in 3 different states, and New York State has deemed builders in New York non-essential, basically. So, and there's some stipulations, but in general, the builders can't work
unless they're working on a hospital or an essential business, I think.
Correct, or they have a project that's not safe at this point in time, so they're able to get it to a safe place, whatever that means, and we've seen that it's generally left up to whatever building inspector in the area, and so that's basically how New York has been. Massachusetts and Connecticut, the builders have been able to continue, essentially. So
oh, no kidding.
We are very fortunate that we're in Lakeville, Connecticut. We're very fortunate to be in Sheffield, Massachusetts, and servicing those areas beyond that. So I wouldn't say business is clicking along as normal in those areas, but because some people have decided that they just don't feel comfortable working and they're going to close their jobs down, and I certainly understand that decision. But those two states are still operating, and we're still plugging along. We've not laid anybody off. We have not furloughed anybody. We have really talented employees that work for us, and our business is we have a lot of product. We serve a lot of customers, and we need to have knowledgeable employees that understand our builders and our customers' businesses. And we need those experts to be able to run our business. And we've made a decision that we're going to continue to employ everybody as long as we possibly can. And I'm every day's a little bit closer to a better spot, so yeah, feels good.
Yeah. The business that you serve is, as you were saying, it was booming earlier this year, and it's been booming for a while, I guess. I mean, your business has been able to grow because there's so much demand as our community changes. You've been here a long time. Any observations about that change?
It's we're fortunate to be 2 hours north of New York City. We're fortunate to be 2 plus hours from Boston, and the second home market is this area is amazing. And people want to be here, and I completely understand that, and we're very fortunate that we have that business and that we have this area. It's the Berkshires is the cultural resort of America, right? And that's all sort of in question right now, how they're gonna operate. But this area continues to see people wanting to be here. And I think, sort of going through the financial crisis, there was some question whether that would continue to happen. And I think that question is answered now. So it's a beautiful area and people want to be here. And I think they're going to continue to want to be here, quite frankly. And we welcome that.
Yeah, we're pretty alluring to a lot of folks,
Sure.
And for good reason.
Absolutely.
We've both grown up here, and we also are friends with a lot of folks who grew up here, and it's been really fascinating to see the Roe Jan community evolve the way it has. So, hey, any other sort of final thoughts before we end this conversation about your business, the impact of COVID? Anything else you want to share?
Just a just a big thank you, and how proud I am for, you know, all of our employees that have stuck it out through this. I know it's a challenging time. It's, you know, it's not easy at work to go through this, and it doesn't sometimes, it's not always that easy when you go home, and, you know, everybody's sort of, there's a little bit of an unknown, and everybody's looking over their shoulder, and everybody's trying to be safe. But it's a nerve-wracking time for everybody, and we're pleased that we have been deemed an essential business, and we can provide for our employees, and this is a scary time, and we're pleased to be in this area and service this area, and looking forward to a safe and bright future.
Thanks for the conversation, Rich, and thanks so much for your leadership in the community, for taking such great care of your amazing employees. You guys have amazing customer service and great product, and really appreciate the time you spent with me today.
Thank you.
Have a great day, and be safe.
You as well, Peter.